said in the beginning is very key. You said we're going to talk about unlocking the potential, because that really is what has happened with the New World Order and their facade that they lay out for people. People have never been locked out of their potential, and that is kind of a key thing for people to begin to realize, that their potential is always there. They always have access to it, but they have fallen into this facade, this overlay that the New World Order has put out there, that they're powerless. And so people, especially on the internet, they spread a lot of rumors about what's out there, what people are doing, what's going to happen, and it's really very much fear-based. And once we have that fear base, we get sucked into it, and we forget that we are already plugged into the greatest power that exists. And there's nothing that is bigger than the power that we already have access to. There really is nothing to unlock. We really are already there. But we have bought the illusion that we're not there, we don't have any power, and we are at the mercy of these people with the money, with the machines, with the knowledge. And the more that we buy into this facade, the deeper we go into the part of ourselves that is fear-based and doesn't believe it has any power, any access, any potential, any knowledge. I mean, it just goes deeper and deeper within, and we have bought into that story hook, line, and sinker. So what we do in our work is we teach you that, first of all, let's see what is the illusion. Because first of all, when you know what's out there, then you can make conscious decisions about what you want to believe and what you don't want to believe. We teach you to look behind the facade, look behind the curtain, see what's going on out there, and say, hey, I'm not going to buy into that. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm going to claim my own rightful place in this universe. I'm going to claim my own personal power. I'm going to take my plug that's already plugged into Oversoul and God Mind, and I'm going to utilize that to my full potential, because I'm already there. Now it's time for me to play my part, which is to stand up to the bully. And we don't advocate violence of any kind. We advocate you being who you are, and you know what? The bully has to go away because there's nobody there to bully. Not only dividing us within ourselves, they're dividing our communities, they're dividing our families, they're dividing your thinking process, they're dividing you from your own spiritual source. So people really feel extremely powerless. If you don't feel powerless in one area, they're going to make sure you feel powerless in another area. They know who and what you are before you know who and what you are, and then they use that against you. So once you decide that, hey, I am a powerful being, I am already hooked up, I am plugged in, I am using my source already, they will go away. They are more afraid of you than you are afraid of them. That's why they try and make you feel powerless. They are afraid of you. People have to realize that, and instead of you cowering in a corner, you have to realize they're just like a bully with a big stick. You have to stand up, acknowledge your power, and what happens is that your world is always a reflection of what's going on in your own mind pattern. Therefore, the stronger and the more powerful that you become, the reflection has to reflect that positive strength back to you, not the negative strength, but the positive strength back. So as you move forward and say, I will not tolerate this in my world, and you don't participate in it, you don't even act like it exists. It's always important to be aware of what's out there, but not participate in it. So think about what you do as the reflection that it is in your outer world, and how you can go about acknowledging your potential, acknowledging the power within, rather than running from it, which is what they want you to do, to not participate in the things they're setting up for you. Now, for me, I like to call God-mind thinking, or God-mind, define that really as just the intelligence that pervades all that is. And God-mind itself is neither positive nor negative, but contains both. God-mind contains absolutely everything, and people try and put it into a certain category, but it's beyond what really we can fathom in this reality that we have created for ourselves. So I kind of like to leave that open-ended, but again, keep in mind as I go through what I'm going to be telling you is that God-mind is neither positive nor negative, but contains both. Now, from there, what I'd like to mention to people is in our school, in our educational system, we are taught to think linearly. That means that if we do A and then we do B, then C will follow. There are books out there that you can buy to teach you yourself linear logic. There are all kinds of tests that you need to pass to get into college and graduate school and so forth that shows that you can do very well thinking linearly. What happens is we close off our potential, we close off our access to God-mind logic, which is basically multidimensional logic. That's how come people say, well, the things you prepare for never happens, or this came out of left field, or all of a sudden, my life changed. Believe it or not, nothing happens all of a sudden. Nothing comes out of left field. People don't understand how to follow multidimensional logic. They don't know how to follow that because they're taught differently. And that's kind of one thing that Stuart and I work with people about, is to don't go linear, go multidimensional. Things come from a multitude of directions. It happens all at once, including everything that goes on within your mind, within your life, within your body, within the self. And so it's very important to understand that multidimensional logic is God-mind logic, and that's what they're trying to cut you off from, and that's what people buy into. But just because you go to school you send your children to school for, long hours every day doesn't mean they're getting an education. Just because that you're in college or you have a master's degree or a doctor's degree, what you're really doing is you're really buying into the mind control of the educational system, which takes your intuitiveness out of you. I myself started going to I wanted to get a degree because I thought, I want a degree or a master's degree in counseling in psychology, because this is my field. I want credibility, blah, blah, blah. I went to graduate school for about 2 weeks, and I thought, if I stay here, I will not have any intuitiveness left in me at all. They want everybody to fit into a box. You cannot do that. Then we are losing that as a culture. We are losing how to treat the individual, whether it's body, mind, or soul. And you are losing that as an individual yourself, how to treat yourself, body, mind, and soul. So you continue moving to other people, to outside sources, which is what the powers that be want you to do. You forget to go inside and hook up. You think that your life is in chaos. You think that you don't understand anything. You think other people have control over you. So when you sit down and you take a look at it from God-mind perspective, from multidimensional perspective, you can see that all chaos is just order that is not yet understood. And as you begin to put order to your chaos, you begin to have a sense of control over yourself and over your life, and you know how you got there. And when you know how you got there, you know how you can get out of it step by step by step. And you lose the fear of the illusion, because you see the illusion and you move right through that. God-mind allows all things. That's why the world is as it is right now. It is in the process of exploring itself. How high am I? How deep am I? What color am I? All those questions we each as individuals answer for the God-mind itself. Going back to what I said earlier, God-mind is neither positive nor negative. It contains both. We are really explorers of that part of the question for the God-mind itself. And that's why everything is allowed, so that we can report back our findings, because we are really just a finger of the God-mind itself out there feeling what it is, just like we're feeling inside of ourselves. The microcosm, the God-mind, the macrocosm, is finding out what it is through self-exploration.